Hi, my presentation title is a 5-minute presentation on the three worlds of Jesus. It is written by me, Patrick A. Campbell, and it is from Fresno Pacific University. In my presentation, I will be talking about the three worlds that exist in Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 48, which is the chapter of the Beatitudes. In the literary world, Jesus is teaching the multitudes and his disciples what blessings are upon which people. There are blessings for all sorts of different people who are gathered together in the multitude that are sitting together listening to what Jesus is teaching them. In the literary world, Jesus saw the multitudes and went up into a mountain. This was a place where Jesus knew he could teach the entire multitude about his understanding of the blessings of their personalities of sorts, as God would want them to know about the blessings for their individual kinds of hunger, of different passions. Jesus in the literary world is teaching the multitudes about the Beatitudes, for that is what we call it these days. An example of a literary world teaching of Jesus' Beatitude is, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." King James Version, page 1201, chapter 5, verse 4. A serious influence of the literary world at the time of this writing was subject to the memory of the writer. In Jesus' teachings, he was relating to the people who would be blessed and why the historical world of Jesus at the time of this event was essentially 24 to 25 CE. Argumentation and speculation as to exactly when this event occurred is not as important as the historical world of events in the socio-economic and actual timeline of things occurring at the time in which the piece of literature was written, or the time before when Jesus actually said the historical items involved. During the beginning of the first century, when Jesus' ministry was taking place, the Romans were overall in charge of just about everything. After all of the Jewish nation was subject to Roman rule, laws, and customs that were established by them. The Romans in the historical world were the cause of many burdens to the citizens of Rome and their captives. The Romans overtaxed everyone they could in order to finance their many exploits. A good example of the historical world of the Roman Empire would be that they started out as a polytheistic society, or believed in many gods, and ended up as a monotheistic society, believing in the one and only true God. The influence of the historical world at the time was the Roman rule. Historically, Jesus was relating to the multitude that because of their faith, they would find the kingdom of heaven. The contemporary world of the time, which had its effect on the writings of Matthew at the time of the scriptures unveiling on the teachings of Jesus, were, needless to say, extremely unkind to anyone that made claims against the powers to be. The contemporary world had put the Romans in place of rulers over the people's physical condition and put the Sanhedrin in charge of the spiritual needs of the Jewish nation, which essentially means the Sadducees and the Pharisees of the temple in Jerusalem. The contemporary world at the time of this teaching was not a nice place to exist. In the contemporary world of Jesus' time, approximately 90% of society were poor. And it was this percentage of people that Jesus had in his multitudes for teaching, preaching, and healing. In the contemporary world at the time of Jesus, all of the people in the Roman kingdom were seriously overtaxed and under much scrutiny from the Roman rule of that time. The contemporary world was seriously influenced by the overtaxing of the Romans in the contemporary world of Jesus' time. He was trying to assuage the people in the multitude that even because the times were harsh, they should not worry because the kingdom of God is near. Thank you.